The bakery's really good.
That was years ago, Bob. Don't go there. Here.
Here, in Bloomington, Illinois, brother.
Here, different schooners rent at his brother's place.
Oh, different
Make a
schooner.
motion to go into closed session, the city council discuss strategy and matters relating to employment conditions of employees of the city not covered by.
Moore. Scott.
Aye.
Waters.
Aye.
Capron.
Yep.
Yeah, his brother.
Becker. Moore.
Aye.
Scott.
Aye.
Waters.
Aye.
Capron.
Aye.
I move we adjourn the closed session. Second.
I could go talk to.
Moore.
Aye.
Scott.
Aye.
Waters. Aye. Capron.
Aye. Lisa did.
Moore.
Here.
Scott.
Here.
Waters.
Here.
Capron.
Here.
Becker.
Here.
Can we stand for a moment of silence here, followed by the pledge of allegiance, please? Amen. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mindy Stevens, could you meet me at the podium? Here we go. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. We have a commendation of these, whereas you are to be commended for taking the city of Sioux City. And whereas you should be proud of the work you've done and the beauty you've created. And whereas we thank you for allowing our citizens to enjoy your beautiful property and for teaching by example the merits of beautification of our community. Now therefore, I, Robert E. Scott, mayor of the city of Sioux City, on behalf of the city council, do hereby commend Sunnybrook Dental located at 5845 Sunnybrook Drive for exhibiting Pride of Sioux City and being named the recipient of the Pride of Sioux City Business Beautification Award. Is Ann here? Are we doing? I know we're giving you. I think we're giving you a tree. Did we get a tree on this, Bob? I thought we did. What did we get this? Marty? Marty, what was it? That's a different award. Okay.
The mayor's buying it.
How about this?
There's one in the back. Yeah. Just get the one in the backyard.
For your office as well.
That's
Say a few words if you
wonderful.
would.
Oh,
Thank you.
thank you. We are super excited to be given this award. We do take great pride in our building, and we're thankful for A1 Irrigation and Spaces Interior Design for helping us with bases and furniture for outside. And it's great to be part of Sioux City and to be recognized, and we're really excited. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we'll go on to the consent agenda, which today is items 2 through 14E. You can consider the items to be passed unless a council member asks for a separate vote. If you want to speak on any of those items, come forward as I read them and state your name and address for the record. You want to speak on an item not on the agenda, please come up under citizen concerns. Again, your name and address for the record. I'll move the consent agenda. Second. 2 is the reading of the city council minutes of August 27, 2018. 3 are motions approving the Senior Advisories Committee annual report. Oh, go ahead.
I just wanted to take a second to thank Dan. I know he spearheaded this effort, and I think it's something that's definitely warranted, and I'm appreciative, and I liked reading through some of the things that they've been able to complete. I personally look forward to the survey data. I think that that's going to be really important. I would just encourage members of the committee, as well as Councilman Moore, just to be thinking about how we can reach as many many people in this age group as possible. I know online surveys can be easy for some, but maybe not others. And I know there'll be other information in paper copies, but I really look forward to that data.
Yeah, and I have a suggestion. Have you thought about maybe sending these copies out to like different nursing homes and?
I believe they have. Yeah, there are gonna be several sites where the actual senior living survey can be found.
Okay, that's
and
good because a
completed.
lot of them can't drive.
Yeah, and it's really
so.
important that they do complete those because it's gonna show us the pulse of the community as far as what seniors expect. And we're hoping that they will complete them and send them back. And we put a short time frame on it, actually. It's gonna be the 1st of October that they're due back.
Oh, that's good.
And so please, I want to encourage all seniors to take a look at the survey and tell us what we're doing right and tell us what we can improve upon.
I do have to add something. I got a phone call a couple weeks ago from an older gal. She's in her 80s and she wanted to know why the city doesn't have bingo for the older people. I said, well, we're not into the gambling part of it, and I suggested maybe the senior center has bingo. That she wanted some serious bingo gambling out there. So, so talk about that, will
Get yourself a
you?
little nonprofit and you're back in business.
Well,
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Rhonda, open it up.
Well, I could, I suppose. I'll be an
bingo.
entertainer.
Well, that's good to know.
Discuss that at your thing, just in, so. I
That'll be
pass-
helpful. And the Seniors Advisory Committee also has a very aggressive and active 2019 agenda already that they are going to tackle. So they're doing a great job.
Awesome.
And just feel free to reach out with any comments, but the survey is extremely important to complete.
So, like the senior members of the council, will you leave those for, those surveys so where we can find those?
Alex and I will leave 3 of them at the table.
And the senior center also accommodates younger people, not just us old people. And there's quite a few things that they got going on at the senior center.
It is.
Plus, they have lunches every day that are $5. So there you go.
Okay, 4, motion approving the annual performance evaluation of the Human Rights Director. I would like to abstain on that, please. It's Wine Styles, 5002 Sergeant Road for violation of the Iowa beer, wine, and liquor laws. 6 is a resolution adopting plans and specs for the Skywalk project.
This is the project. The write-up says it includes the replacement of 7 aging heating and air conditioning units with 6 condensing units and electrical work.
Yes,
Is that throughout the whole?
it's throughout
Skywalk?
several quarters in the Skywalks, yep.
You can do that every year.
You do that every year?
But you, I mean,
We don't replace them every year, but yeah,
But I mean,
we've
is
got
that
several
the-
that have been
Is
replaced.
that the
yeah.
total number of units that we
No.
have?
No,
no, we've replaced that. They've done this project a couple times since you've been on the council.
Okay,
they're different units.
okay.
We've actually got 34 units in the Skywalk system.
34
This is
units
like
are in
the
the
3rd time we've
Skywalk
done some
system.
of these since we've been back on the council.
Okay, well, sometimes I read it differently from time to
I
time.
understand.
so- Okay.
And there were other alternates as well, right? Or other parts of the project?
Right, we're gonna try to replace some of the ceilings. Some of those old units have leaked. And also some of the ceilings are the 12 by 12 tiles, which you can't even get, you can't repair them anymore. They don't even sell the 12 by 12s that fit into the ceiling, drop ceilings that they have. So we're gonna try to
Why even have
standardize.
ceilings?
I'm sorry?
Why even have ceilings?
Well, there's a lot of stuff up in those ceilings that, I mean, and now the way it is, we've got people walking along poking the ceiling tiles and things like that. I'm afraid of what they would do.
Probably right, okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I forgot Dave Carney, Public Works Director.
Annette Harback, parking supervisor.
Thank you.
7 are actions related to grants. A is a resolution accepting a grant from the IDOT through the Airport Development Program to assist in hangar refurbishment and potential construction at the Gateway Airport.
Yep, Mayor, I've asked Mike Collette if he would, actually on several of these items, if you could just show us on the map
Sure,
what taxiways or runways we're talking about for these projects.
sure.
'Cause I mean, this is all a big deal, I think, right?
Yeah, we have several things on tonight's agenda. So items 7A through C are related to Iowa DOT grants. For the record, Mike Collette, Assistant City Manager. The first one, 7A, this is a formula funding that we get each year. It's 100% money, there's no match involved, and it goes towards anything vertical. This year in the application, we have lots of hangar needs, so that 105,000 is going towards hangar repairs and refurbishments. In B and C, these are competitive-based grants. that we compete with other commercial service airports in the state of Iowa, and there's only so much funding to go around, and we had we put in 4 projects, had really good applications. We were awarded two projects in one grant cycle, and I think that's pretty unique. We had Iowa DOT rep come down and actually look at the condition of some of our pavement, and our projects shot right up to the priority list. It does help. So they visited, and so item A doesn't have anything specific related to it today. B and C, we have targeted areas. So on the printout here, the first one listed is a grass island in this area right here. This is north, right outside of a hangar to the north side of the taxiway, taxiway C. The pavement out here right now is restricted. It's in such bad pavement. We've restricted it ourselves. This will be twofold improvement. It'll improve not only the pavement, it'll include it as a grass island for drainage. So snow removal wise, we push all the snow to this and it drains there. We don't have the melting and refreezing across an area that aircraft currently go to as well.
Are you gonna make it concave or is it still gonna be flat?
No, it'll still be flat. Yep. The next one, and if we can go one back, I guess. So still moving up north, and I'll give you a whole aerial picture to show you where these are at in general in the whole airfield. We have 2 sites there right now. This is new T hangars here. We have development plans going to the north up here for additional hangar structures. The area that's kind of highlighted right here has some real issues. The pavement has sunk there. We have drainage issues there. Again, it was a high priority item with DOT. We saw the state of those things. So they're each about a $500,000 projects. One's funded at 80%, one's funded at 70%.
My question on B, I'm not gonna pretend that I know how much it would cost to do that, nor am I gonna pretend that I can tell the scale from that picture. But just moving that concrete and getting the grass there and stuff, that's gonna cost.
Sure, the expense comes in.
That makes sense.
So in the whole scheme of the airfield, this will come up here. Here we go. So the terminal is right here. We have 2, this is a small picture, I understand. There's 2 grass islands currently right here. This will put another one up to the north, and then further the pavement up further to the northeast, up in the area we hope to improve and develop up in that area.
Oh, so there will be 2 parts?
There will be 2 areas, yep.
Thank you, Dan.
Okay, all right. The project numbers, I think they wanted to mention, the project numbers that were listed here are the correct ones in the homework. They were evidently not listed as the right project numbers, but what's on the agenda today is the appropriate project number.
Okay, thanks, Mike.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
B is a resolution accepting a grant from IDOT through the Airport Improvement Program for the North General Aviation Island Project at Gateway Airport. C is a resolution accepting a grant from the IDOT through the Airport Improvement Program for the North General Aviation Ramp Taxi Line Project at the Gateway Airport. D is a resolution accepting the Governor's Traffic Safety Bureau and Iowa Department of Public Safety grant for training and equipment for the police department. 8 are actions relating to street closures. A is a resolution temporary closing various streets in the Morningside area on September 17th for the East High Homecoming Parade. B is a resolution temporary closing various streets in the downtown area on September 29th for the Oktoberfest on 4th event. C is a resolution temporarily closing various streets in the downtown area on September 24th for the Eric Weinheim Mayor student presentation at the Orpheum Theater. 9 are actions relating to agreements and contracts. A is a resolution approving work order number 36 for R, S, and H for the runway 1730 reconstruction shift taxway project at Gateway Airport. I'm sorry, Mike, I want you to explain this to me. I should have called John, that's my problem.
Yes.
Well, tell me, I read this last weekend, my bad, but isn't this in addition to what they've already gotten paid to do?
This is for construction administration services for the actual construction project, yes. So the total bid is roughly $21 million for the construction project.
Yeah. And what do they want to do this?
And this is just under $2 million for the construction administration. and closeout services. So this actually goes through a separate independent twice. So we have to, for this size of agreement, the FAA is paying 90%. So they might send it to an independent engineering firm to independently vet out the dollars involved. Then the FAA engineer also looks at it.
And who did we independently vet? These guys themselves?
Yeah, we send it to a separate company, and they look at what the proposal was from RSNH,
Who was that?
engineering firm out of North Dakota.
What?
Engineering firm is called ULTIG out of North Dakota. They just do, not everybody does that independent review. And then the FAA engineer, the state
Of
engineer
course,
for the state
they're
of
gonna- They
Iowa.
love these guys, and I don't,
I mean, they're engaged separately to do this service.
I understand that, but another $2 million that flies out of Sioux City, it just frustrates me that we don't have anybody that's qualified to do that, or we won't look for anybody.
They are a current contract and airport engineer.
That doesn't mean they have to do the inspection, though.
No, there's a lot of sub-services in here. So not all the inspection services will be done by RSNH personnel. So I know they've engaged.
You're missing my point.
Okay, they've engaged local firms to do some of that, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. You're not winning the argument.
Okay,
I'm sorry. We put these things out for bid, but we're not really serious about bidding them. That's my problem. And these guys they've been doing it for how long?
10 years.
And because once you're in, you never get, I mean, you must really have to screw up to lose this contract. And it's a very, very lucrative contract. And there are Iowa firms that are qualified to do this, but we just are not going to ever allow that to happen.
Scott,
No.
Waters. Aye. Capron,
Aye.
Greckin,
Aye.
Moore.
Aye. B is a resolution approving a contract with Knife River Midwest for the runway 1735 reconstruction and ship project phase 1 at the Gateway Airport. C is a resolution awarding a service provider agreement to Copper Cottage for the relocation of the Martin Building fire pump at 400 Pierce Street. D is a resolution approving a renewal option number 1 with HIChem for polymer and Hypofloc for the water treatment plant. I want to vote on this one too.
That should be a correction. Spiro Vahul is purchasing manager. It should be wastewater treatment plant instead of water.
Okay. Now, wait a minute. Is this the one you and I talked about, Brad? No. Okay, I'm fine on this one then.
We will need to amend.
This was the one regarding the memo that we received, or no?
No, that's, when it said water, that's what I thought it was. Okay, I'll amend it so it says wastewater. I'll move the amendment.
Second.
You have to call the roll.
Waters,
Aye.
Capron,
Aye.
Greckin,
Aye.
Moore,
Aye.
Scott.
Aye. E is a resolution approving a consulting services agreement with JEO Consulting to complete a drainage study.
Did you want to say
Yes,
the
let's
roll call?
back up, didn't you want?
No, because that's not the right one.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
all right.
On 9A, you want me to announce a vote? Is that what you're asking?
No, I'm asking you had asked for a separate roll call vote on D, but that isn't the correct one.
It's not,
Okay.
it's not the right one. F is a resolution awarding a consulting services agreement to JEO Consulting for the Leeds Connector Trail Project. G is a resolution approving amendment number 1 of the standard consultant contract with HR Green for the Riverfront Trail Connection Project.
Did you read E already?
Yes,
Oh, you did?
yes.
Sorry, okay, I thought I missed it then.
On this one, how much more are we looking at? Because you're already running about 18% on, 17% on design, and then you're gonna want how much to do the inspection. As long as I'm on a roll, I'm gonna get her all out here today, so you don't have to come back because I know you're gonna want a high fee for that too.
Dawn Horner with HR Green, 518 East Nebraska. The construction admin services are already included in here. And part of this project is a lot of Army Corps of Engineers coordination.
But you knew that bidding it, going in, that should have been in your base bid.
The 408 permit got a little more involved than originally determined. And then also the Floyd River has changed. So we originally bid the project to use a model that the Corps had on hand. When we took to use a hydraulic model that the Corps had on hand. When we got that model, we did one cross-section across the Floyd River, and it was 4 feet deeper. And we assume that's because of the flooding that occurred in 2011. So we feel like there's been a lot of scour between the Missouri River and Dace. So we plan to, because of this bridge and because of the no-rise required by the Army Corps, we want to resurvey that area. And the Corps has required or recommended that the city get that survey to have for future projects. So once we get this survey, get this model, it'll be underground, underwater survey as well. So we'll know what the profile of that is. Then you guys can use that for future projects.
I just don't understand how we get into these and we didn't know that stuff. It mystifies me. But you're here for a 10% increase. Your fee is now pretty high for a trail job. And will be growing, I'm sure. You anticipate any more change orders?
I don't, because we have the construction admin already included, and then next week you'll see the Bluff Road project that will come through, so there'll be coordination with Bluff Road, Stockyard Place, and the trail, so then the city's been directed to put those all together.
Okay. H is a resolution approving a contract to guarantee roofing, siding, and insulation for the hail damaged roofs and building projects. I is a resolution approving a contract to Murphy Insulation for the hail damaged roofs and building projects. J is a resolution approving a contract to McGinnis Roofing and Sheepson can sub out on a job. Is there a limitation? Say, I don't think Murphy's in the roofing business, and if he's not doing the work, I don't have anything against Murphy. They're good people, but.
I think Murphy is doing the work because it's spray foam insulation.
But he's doing the whole job? The whole roof job?
I believe so. I can find out.
Okay.
I don't think he's subbing it out.
Can I ask a question, Stan?
Sure.
The total bids submitted amounted to $677,000, almost $678,000, and the insurance estimate was $652,000. And this is probably a dumb question, but is there an opportunity after you know what the cost is to go back to the insurance company and try to save or get them to pay a little more?
Correct. We are working on that right now.
Okay.
And that's just the engineer's estimate there. When we actually, we go off the actual cash value, what we receive for a check.
Okay.
We get the replacement cost also. So that's like an additional $55,000 on top of that.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yep.
K is a resolution approving a contract to Winkler Roofing for the hail damaged roofs and building projects. L is a resolution accepting the agreement with Menards for property in connection with the Garrettson Avenue realignment project. 10 are purchasing. A is a resolution awarding a purchase order to Karis for the phosphate F-35 for the water treatment plant. This is the one I'd like to vote on. I don't understand, and we talked, and I still don't understand how you bid a project. I'm not a chemist, so I'm just a dumb guy here. But when you bid a project and say you gotta meet this spec, then you tell me, well, it may not, the phosphate may not meet the spec, what we got. But we don't know, it may not, it may too.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. Brad Pitts, Water Plant Superintendent. That really is the unknown. A little.
Well, don't use Flint, Michigan next time. That was a little overkill for me, okay?
I won't say a word. Yeah, it could have been a little more legwork done up front on these products. The Karis product that we've been using for so many years, and that's done such a good job for our corrosion control program, typically is always the lowest product. Rebidding it this time, obviously they're the highest out of the 3 bids. The concern is now changing products without doing a thorough evaluation of that product before we put it into use.
But we never will. How would you do that? Because if there's a way to do that, then we shouldn't award this. We should somehow figure out how we could do that.
Yeah, there is a way to do that, and we're finding that out as we went through this recent evaluation with Iowa Department of Natural Resources. As they looked at our corrosion control program, they look at it based on that product. Now, if we were to go back to the DNR with these specs for these other chemicals that were bid, they can do the evaluation for us and give us the information we need as to whether or not they will work in this program or not.
But how, you're awarding a 3-year contract.
That's the recommendation,
Yeah,
yes.
so again,
Well, when would they be able to do that, DNR, looking into that? And make that recommendation or give you that information?
The phone call's already been made to start that process.
why
Now,
would
whether or
you-
not, how long that process takes, I don't know.
why would you award a 3-year contract then? Because you've limited yourself for the next 3 years then, that you're not gonna use anybody else's product.
On some of the chemicals, the reason we do that is because of the volatility in the market.
Yeah.
With knowing these prices now that have come in the way they did, maybe that's not the best option. But again, if, bidding it yearly could yield not so great results
Well, but
either.
you may be approving another product at that point in time, if you're serious about trying somebody else's product.
Yeah, absolutely.
Then I'll move that this be a 1-year contract,
Yeah.
and that we
And
will
I'll
get
second.
evaluations.
I'll second it.
Because I think then you hope that you have that information lower bid.
Agreed.
I mean, I get your point, but yeah.
Yeah.
You're moving to amend it to a 1-year contract?
Yes.
And did you second, Pete?
Yes.
When's this,
Brett?
when's it supposed to start? The contract?
Tomorrow, I think, wasn't it?
I don't remember what the date was.
A 12th?
Spear Oval Hulis, and the 1-year pricing from Karis would be 55 cents per pound.
Because then the other ones were
34
cents and 49 cents.
So for clarification from the council, do you wish for it to be a 1-year contract with the direction to extend it upon council approval if it comes back? Or do you want them to completely rebid and bring it back fresh?
I want them to rebid. That way they'll
Okay.
be forced to do that evaluation.
Okay,
Well, and
thank you.
hopefully it will be done. That's my question, is I just don't know what the turnaround is. I don't know. Again, I'm not gonna pretend I would have any idea of how long that
Well,
process.
don't worry, they have a lot of control when they talk to the DNR too, so.
We don't know what it is, and I don't think they know what it is. I've given them the information that I think they need already.
Not
I guess
a year,
we'll
is
go
it?
a year and we'll hope that that information is done so that we can know when we
Would hope
bid.
it's
I mean-
shorter than that.
Obviously, the water supply is a very important topic for the city.
No question about that.
And so this probably makes good sense. I'm just curious, Brad. Has a new product ever been used for where existing phosphorus was used that the water turned out
I think
bad?
they're-
Besides the city we've already mentioned?
Sure. Well, they weren't using any, but, I think there are other communities that are bidding different products and they're using them. But they have the information up front already. They already know that that product is gonna work
Okay.
before they do that.
Okay.
So as the mayor is asking, it'd be nice if we had a list of products that we could bid and then
Yes.
maybe strictly tailor the requisitions to those products. So we'll have more than one bid, but we also have multiple products to use too.
Well, what's the likelihood a different product would cause problems? Because that's kind of the way it read here.
Right. And those are concerns of ours, and that's why we made the recommendation we
And
did.
so I understand.
Well, hopefully through that evaluation, we're able to narrow those products down enough that are similar and match.
Okay.
That those concerns are eliminated a little bit.
Thank you.
Again, I'm not a chemist. How difficult is it to do a chemical analysis yourself? Not you, but an outside agency.
Right. Well, if they look at this, if they look at the specifications and they feel that it's not the same, then they would build a pipe loop with different materials. They would run that product with the city's water through that pipe loop, take samples. I would assume that's a several month process. I have not been through one, so.
All right.
One more, since we're going down this rabbit hole. Does it does it test the products that are available, or does it say, look, you need this chemical like composition?
It's
Are
both.
you're testing, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
are you testing like the products, like the ones that we bid, or the companies that are doing it? Or do you say, no, this proper mixture would be okay, and then if someone else?
No, it's more of an evaluation of the product than,
like this
than
is
just
what's
the
on the market,
composition,
and these
right.
meet your
Right.
requirements. Interesting.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
On the amendment?
Yes.
This is with the same company then.
So this is for a one-year contract?
Yes.
With the company we currently use.
Aye.
Gretchen?
Aye.
Moore?
Aye.
Scott?
Aye.
Waters?
Aye.
B is a resolution awarding a purchase order to Crescent Electric for an electrical power starter for the wastewater treatment plant. C is a resolution awarding a purchase order to the Sioux City Ford for the purchase of the four Ford Police Interceptor all-wheel drive vehicles. 11, approve total checks approved for August 2018 in the amount of $28,126,704.45. When does our fiscal year end? July 31st?
June 30.
You're just paying a lot of those bills that we hurried up and got rid of our budgets for. Because this number never ran more than 12 million bucks. I watched it all year.
Donna Forker, Finance Director. No, you have the second installment of the I-29 in this figure. It was 11 million something, and water was about 4 million.
Okay.
That's why it's so much more this month.
Okay, I thought maybe they were just, all the departments wanted to make sure they got their money spent. I know they'd never do that though, so. 12 are applications for cigarette, tobacco, nicotine, vapor permits. See the list and come forward if you have questions. 13 are applications for beer, liquor. Wait a minute, see the list, come forward if you have any questions. Anyone to be heard on any of those items? We'll vote electronically.
Yes.
I can get over there.
Yeah.
They pass 5-0.
All right.
Recommendations of planning and zoning. 15 is an ordinance naming a portion of an unnamed right-of-way at the corner of West 7th and Pearl Street as West 7th Street. The petitioner, City of Sioux City, P&Z recommends approval. I'll move that.
Second.
Susan Stewart, Vice Chair of Planning and Zoning Commission. This is just basically a cleanup item. No one came to talk about it. There were no questions from the commissioners, and it was approved unanimously.
You had to come down for that, Susan? Thank you very much.
What?
I feel bad you had to come down for that one item.
Oh,
Sorry
it's
about
not the end of the world. I'm one of Dan's seniors. So.
Thanks, Susan.
Dan Seniors, I like that too.
You like that?
That's got the making of a
You're the
book.
young guy-
good T-shirt too.
Yeah.
the young guy leading them, right?
I'm the young guy on the council.
All right. Who hasn't voted? Got it?
We got them all.
5-0. Anybody opposed to waiving the statutory rule?
Nope.
I'll
No.
move that.
Second.
Gretchen?
Aye.
Moore?
Aye.
Scott?
Aye.
Waters?
Aye.
Capron?
Aye.
I'll move second, third.
Second. I'll get it.
Passes 5-0. 16 is a hearing and resolution approving plans and specs for the digester cleaning and inspection
vote for?
project at the wastewater treatment plant. I'll move it.
Second.
Okay. Dan, I'm sorry.
And your take?
Right.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Passes 5-0. 17 is a hearing and resolution approving specs, contract, and costs of renewable fuels equipment procurement number 2 project. Motion's needed to defer this item till September 17th. I'll move that.
Second.
I'll call the vote on the deferral. Moore?
Aye.
Scott?
Aye.
Waters?
Aye.
Capron?
Aye.
Gretchen?
Aye.
18 is a hearing and resolution approving plans and specs for the annual intake repair project. I'll move that.
Second.
Passes 5-0. 19 is a hearing and resolution approving plans and specs for the Gordon Drive signal replacement project. I'll move that.
Second.
Passes 5-0. 20 is a hearing and resolution approving plans and specs for the annual manhole rehabilitation project. I'll move that.
Second.
Five zero. 21 is a hearing and resolution determining an area of the city to be blighted and the economic development area designated as an urban renewal project and adopting the amendment 1 to the amended and restated combined Floyd River urban renewal plan for the combined Floyd River urban renewal area property at 1900 4th Street. I'll move it.
Second.
Passes 5-0. 22 is a resolution approving a targeted job withholding tax credit program agreement with IEDA, Interstate Mechanical, Interstate Metal, and WEJA Properties, property at 1900 West 4th Street. I'll move that.
Second.
I do their bonds, so I better abstain.
Okay. Should withdraw your motion.
That.
I'll move. Item 22.
Sorry, Lisa.
Anyone want a
Hold on
second?
just one
Second.
Okay, we can revote now, and the second is from Councilman Griffin.
Yes.
Passes 4-0 to 1. I need to abstain. 23 is the resolution approving a development of minimum assessment agreements with Interstate Mechanical, Interstate Metal, and WEJA Properties, property at 1900 4th Street.
I'll move it.
Second.
Passes 4-0 to 1. I abstain. 24 is a hearing on manager's report on demolition and a resolution declaring the structure to be dangerous to dilapidate and authorizing city manager to carry out the order to demolish property at 1901 West Highland Avenue. The owners Barbara Sitzman and Michael Spees, deferred from August 13, 2018.
This is the property that was, Darrell Bullock, Code Enforcement Manager. This is the property that was deferred previously from previous meeting to allow time for the owner and a real estate agent to sell the property. And at this time, nothing has, no communication with the office on any sale of the property.
I'll move demolition.
Second.
They never reached back out.
No.
Don't put that one up though. That's not it, Darrell.
What's that?
That first one, it's just a picture.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, just to get you repped out.
Passes 5-0. 25 is a hearing on manager's report on demolition resolution declaring the structure to be dangerous or dilapidated and authorizing the city manager to carry out the order to demolish property at 3927 Country Club Boulevard. The owners Mark and Patricia Jensen. I'll move it.
Second.
This property was placarded December of 2016. Gone through numerous conversations with the owner of the property, looking to get some action taken care of. Recently had a conversation with the owner last week, Friday, and his comment was that he did have a potential owner. I explained that we would be moving forward with the request for demolition, that if a new owner was to come forward with the plan to save the property, that we would go ahead and look at rescinding the demolition order and offering a stay of demolition. and he seemed to be in understanding and agreement to that.
Go ahead.
My name is Renee Jensen. I live at 140 West 40th Street, which is 4 houses away from this property. And I just wanted to address my concerns as well as the neighbors who I have spoken with. And our concern is the fact that the residence has been unoccupied for over a decade. And it was red tagged, I believe, approximately 2 years ago, giving them 12 months to address the situation, so that it has carried over nearly, I believe it'll be 2 years in November. My concern, not just the way that it affects our property values, but my deep concern is the recent activity that's been noted at the house. There's vandalism that's been apparently to gain access to the interior of the home. And there's nocturnal activity, and there have been vehicles that are not familiar to the neighborhood. I'm terrified living so close to this property and the length of time that it has been neglected and no action taken. I just needed to really verbalize my concern as a property owner near the home.
Thank you.
And Daryl, are those recent pictures of the inside?
Those are the only ones we have available at this time. Those were taken approximately 12 months ago, but no action has been taken other than a little bit of cleanup. The owner did express to me that this coming week, the week that we were in right now, he would be bringing additional dumpsters in to finish clean out, and was fairly confident on it. Just explained the process and let him know that this demolition order didn't mean it was coming down right away. It just meant that we could start the process for it. And if somebody came in and had the wherewithal to do it, we would rescind the demolition order and grant a 90-day stay of demolition.
I agree.
Thank you, Daryl.
Yes.
I'll move it.
I think we already did, didn't we?
Oh, did you move it? Okay.
You might want to let him know that we did agree to the demolition, and he needs to get somebody in there.
I will do that.
5-0 passes.
Thank you.
Hearing on a resolution and determining an area of the city to be blighted and an economic development area, designating it as an urban renewal project, and adopting amendment number 1 to amend and restate a combined Central Sioux City urban renewal plan for the combined Central Sioux City CBD urban renewal area. Property at 505 and 525 6th Street, 620 and 621 Nebraska Street. I'll move that.
Second.
Mayor and Council, the next 3 items pertain to the Warrior Development Project. As you may recall, in March of this year, the council approved a development agreement with that group for the rehabilitation of the Warrior and Davidson buildings downtown. A new request has come in since the original development agreement was approved, requesting that the city personally guarantee historic tax credits related to this project that have yet to be awarded. The first item, with the amendment to the urban renewal plan, allows for additional bonding for the potential guarantee that may take place related to this project. So that is the first request. The second item that we'll address next pertains to the actual bonding authorization. And the third item would be the amendment to the development agreement that we are requesting a deferral on at this time, to allow some additional time to work out the details for adding the personal guarantee portion, and then an additional personal guarantee of the developers to the project back to the city to secure the guarantee that the city would have to provide. Be happy to answer additional questions at this time, but the first item is just pertaining to amending the urban renewal plan to allow for the bonding.
But if item 28 doesn't happen to satisfy your
Correct.
concerns, then this 26 and 27 don't really matter.
Sure. Just to amend the urban renewal plan does not actually trigger anything at this point. It just declares that there's authority to proceed forward with additional developments. So say that the details and the terms were not worked out on the city's guarantee or the developer's guarantee, this would have no effect other than we've expanded the plan to allow for it, but no additional steps would need to be taken as it relates to the urban renewal development change.
I need to abstain on that item.
this started.
There you go, thank you.
Passes 4-0 to 1. Mr. Moore abstained. 27 is a hearing resolution instituting proceedings for the issuance of $17 million worth of general obligation urban renewal bonds. I'll move it. But we're not really issuing bonds, we're just like reserving them, right?
We're holding the public hearing so that if there is somebody that protests and they were to sway your vote,
Right.
we don't enter into a development agreement that we could not fund.
Okay, gotcha, okay. Yep.
I'm abstaining on this item as well. Mr. Mayor.
Passes 4-0 to 1. Mr. Moore abstains. 28 is a hearing resolution authorizing First Amendment to the development agreement with the Warrior Hotel Limited Partnership. Motion requested to defer this item until September 17, 2018. I'll move that.
Second.
Passes 4-0 to 1. Mr. Moore abstains. 29 is a resolution approving amendment number 1 to the contract with Local 212, ASME representing the Gateway Airport employees. I'll move that.
Second.
Passes 5-0. First up under citizen concerns is Cindy Fleckenstein, 2945 South Coral, wants to talk about a road closing. The pink ribbon lady, what do you got?
Do I go here or over there?
Right there.
Okay. Again, my name is Cindy Fleckenstein. I live at 2945 South Coral. 3 years ago, they closed 3 streets, cross streets in our neighborhood, one from South Coral to South Cornelia and South Coral to South Glass, and up at the 2900 block, which is Wellington Avenue, and a block up, they closed one street. It was a dirt road, but we have a paved alley, and a lot of people use that alley, but they have limited access because of the road closing. This is the only of the 3 roads that is clear, has no obstructing trees or overgrown weeds and so on and so forth. The only thing they ever had to do to maintain it was to take a snowplow down it 3 or 4 times during the winter. Because it's such an eyesore, and I do have pictures, I've had to call the city 2 or 3 times for them to come and kill the weeds. It's devalued my property because if I was a homeowner and looking at my home, I would not purchase it with that eyesore next to it. And to top it off, I just received my tax statement and my taxes went up $416. I'd like to see that particular one road reopened if possible. Or
Did we, Dave, do you know, you wouldn't know, I bet we just temporarily closed it. I bet we didn't.
it's been closed for 3 years.
Right, but I mean, we didn't vacate is what I'm saying.
Oh, I see.
So we can reopen probably, but we'll have to get more facts today.
Okay.
And we can drive out by it, but
Would you like to see pictures?
yeah, you can leave them with Bob. Sure. We'll have to find out the status, because if it's been vacated, that means it's available to the property owners to buy next to it.
Right, and the people up the street did buy theirs a block up. But, you know, I guess we really don't
But if it's been
have.
vacated and hasn't been sold, it'd be different. We'll just have to get the status.
Okay.
Let us get the status and we'll have Bob get back to you on it, okay?
Cindy, what particular street is it?
Yeah.
It's Wellington Avenue.
Okay.
It's at between the 29 and 3000 block.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, thank
Yeah,
you.
let us check the status. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other citizens to be heard? Seeing none, we'll go to council concerns.
I just have one thing, Mayor. I wanted to acknowledge the Housing Division for their recent award from, I think I got this right, NARO, for, they received from the National Association of Housing and Redevelopment Officials the 2018 Award of Merit in Housing and Community Development for their security deposit assistance program. And since the inception of the program, this program has helped provide security deposit assistance to 422 families and distributed over $204,000. So this is a big deal, and I just want to say thank you to the Housing Division and for all the efforts that all of the employees assigned down there worked to help those in need to find housing and to set up and continue to run the program. So I just thought it was important to acknowledge all of their efforts and to thank them for their work and helping so many people out. So that's all I have.
Okay, so I got one thing. We had Labor Day last Monday, I think we all know. And I don't think a lot of people were aware of this, but Mayor Scott was inducted to the Union Hall of Fame. So I think that we should appreciate all the work that he does and thank him for being there when they need him. So
Polite applause.
A few things. Let's go to the 12th. So this Wednesday, there will actually be a Sioux City Growth Organization. If you or your company have any young professionals that would like to get involved, it's actually an evening meeting. So it'll be this Wednesday from 5:30 to roughly 7 p.m. And it'll be at Rocks and With Organization. Then also on that same Wednesday, starting at 7 p.m. at Stony Creek will be the International Film Festival. So if you're interested at all in film, we got a lot of great documentaries and people coming this year that have really been instrumental in some shows that even you would recognize. So it's pretty cool that we have that event like that, so I hope our community gets out and support it. The documentaries start this Wednesday at 7 p.m. again at Stony Creek. Then
Yeah.
correct. I don't have that because I'm going to be gone tomorrow, but I'll let you know.
Tomorrow at noon, isn't it?
Yep,
Yes.
noon at Public Safety Memorial. out by the City Hall.
I'll let you say that one. The last thing that I have that I would say is the tourism board met for the first time this last Friday. I think it was a good meeting. There was a lot of good energy and good discussion surrounding that. I think that we have a lot of people that are open to new and different ideas and just having a critical conversation about where we can go in the future. Bruce Miller was elected the chair, and the vice chair will be Lila Plambeck from Stony Creek. And so I think that the two of them will keep things in order, and I'm excited to continue that conversation. So that's all I had. Mayor.
good job.
Okay, I have nothing further.
When we were at the Labor Day picnic, the one thing I noticed is those, and he's not here, the roofs on those shelters are really bad shape. Like, I wonder if we didn't turn them into insurance or if they're just bad, but they really, I mean, they're like bad.
Okay.
Especially the one that we were at, it's had a hole in the roof actually, so we need to.
I believe we still have a replacement plan for those shelters, so I'll see
Okay.
what's going on with those.
And you might want to, not that I'm in that business, but you may, when you do hire a roofer, actually do gutters on them, because that would save all that fascia wood that's rotting. That's a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also out to Grandview Park, when you first go into the park, I think it's the bathrooms actually, that the roof is real bad.
And the other is that Bob and I will be going to the League of Cities. We'll be representing you in Council Bluffs this week.
Thank you.
What day is that?
We'll leave Wednesday and come home Friday, hopefully, or
Woohoo.
late Thursday.
We got 2 days free, all
I
right.
really wanted to go to that, so let me know.
So let the good times roll. I move we adjourn.
Second.
Scott?
Aye.
Waters? Avery?
Aye.
Greckin?
Aye.
Moore?
Aye. Okay.